All right. So, yeah, so I've started it now. All right. Um, so it just give us opportunity to carry out different graphical work, and it's a very uh, good tool in Python. And one thing that we'll be seeing here is that some of all these things are not what we can easily do on other let's say data analytic platform, but we can actually do them so very easy using our Matplotlib. So it's a very good tool that will be very useful for us, uh, and we would really enjoy this section. I want to believe most of us join this call with our laptop, because I will not just do it as a one-way training. I'll be giving you avenue to test this code yourself. And whatever result you get, I will export you to have a screenshot you can post on WhatsApp group, just to show that we are getting something directly from the training. So we use it for different analytic visualization purpose. And in addition to this, like I mentioned earlier on, basically we'll be using this model that we have here, pyplot, pyplot. However, I still want us to know that it is well beyond that, way beyond that. And I would explain what I mean by that in a moment. If you I've just changed my screen now. I need you to confirm you can see what is on the screen. Hello,
Yes, yes, we can see.
you can see it now. All right. So this is Matplotlib documentation. For some of us, seeing Paul coming down to this place over and over again, he is not just coming here for play. Most of the time, you need to learn some of all this framework documentation for you to become a pro in it. So for Matplotlib that we're talking about, we have a lot of model, but the commonly used one is this Matplotlib. And basically, these are used for like different graphical charts, even 3D chart. We still use PyPlot model very well. But we need to understand that we still have different other modules. We have AFM, we have animation. Some of them I have used before, and quite a number of them, even me, I have not used them before. But the most popular one that we use most of the time is this pie plot that we will be using for this training. I think I've also used this before, matplotlab.contour. I use it for to create a kind of contour charts, showing us different contour. I think I have something like that here. So you can see something here, something like this, a kind of contour lines chart and all the rest like that. That is what that can do. So why am I showing you this? I believe it doesn't end with this training. Whatever you'll be learning in this training should be a kind of encouragement for you to go on to learn more on them. So that is why I brought us to this list. And all these things are quite simple. Click on each of this module, you will have detailed explanation, and you will know what they are actually used for. All right. I think I've been able to establish that now. Please confirm my screen is up. I'm back to my presentation.
Yes, yes.
All right, thank you. So, like I mentioned, we would focus more on PyPlot, and PyPlot is just a submodule for our Matplotlib. and it's a very easy tool to use. And if you come here, you'll be seeing different application of our pipeplot. For those of us that have been with us for a while, you will understand that each time you want to use a Python framework, you must import the framework. As you can see here now, we import matplotlib.pyplots as PLT. And for you, those of us that have been with us also, you realize that the alias in front here could be anything. But for general purpose or what is commonly used in most cases is this PLT. So let's note that. All right. So this is just a summary of what we'll be seeing in our pie plots. If you want to do a line chart, this is what to use. Pie plots. Okay, let me just use the word PLT, which is our pie plot dot plots. A bar chart, this is it. You can see all these things are just something very, very simple. We all know this is bar chart, scatter plot, histogram, pie chart. If you want to do a kind of subplot, this 3D plot, this, and if you want to save your charts that you have plotted, this is what you use basically. So generally, this that you are looking at your screen currently is just more like the summary of your pie plot. However, some other little code still falls in between them. All right. So let's move on to the next thing that I'll be doing now. All right, basically now we'll be doing some basic plotting for today. We'll be doing some basic plotting for today, and we are going to be touching line plots. We would also be doing, let's say, bar chart also and all that. And we will not be using a let me say a live data, so to say now. So we are going to be using another framework, which I intentionally choose to use. We'll be using NumPy. Please be muted if you just joined. We'll be using NumPy also at a time to just create arbitrary. Hello? AD, can you please mute yourself? Or let me just mute you from here. All right. So we'll be using NumPy at a time to create some data that we can just use for this purpose. Like I said, it's going to be very, very practical. And for those of us with our laptop, please open your Colab now. Open your Colab on your laptop. Open your Colab on your laptop. All right, so let me just go to my Colab also here. All right, so let me create a new system here. And to start with this, as we have here, the first thing is for us to import our Matplotlib. And to do that, just come here, import. For some of us, we need to understand, I think Sadiq Shadid make this very clear to us. Python code is case sensitive. And he also mentioned indentation. So some of all those things that he has mentioned before, we will be seeing them reoccurring over and over again as we go on. For example, let me zoom up here. Oh,
Hi, Sam. We can't see your current
you
screen.
can't see I just realized that now. Please confirm you can see my Colab now.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right, before I continue also, I will want, if you have opened your Colab also, wherever you are, can you thumbs up or raise up your hand. So I want to be sure we are together. For those of you that you are joining this call with your laptop, this is a must for you to do. All right, all right, all right, all right. Fine. So we are going to make this very, very practical. You don't need to go home and do. Now, I want to import my Matplotlib. For some of us, you are seeing that I started with capital letter. Python does not recognize it. I intentionally do this. So for those of you that want to do this, please switch off your caps lock and let us import our Matplotlib. Is this a code line that I picked from here or a test? All right, so I just picked a code line. Now, when I use capital letters, it will not show up. So just come up with import. We have it now. Import matplotlib dot pylots as plt. Like I mentioned, this in front could be anything, but this is our framework, while the module we want to use is pyplot as plt. Okay, so we have done that. Let's run it. Fine. With this, we've imported our Matplotlib into our environment now. So we can continue with every other thing we want to do. Now, I'll just come up with another line code here. So what we want to do currently now, let me just share my entire screen so I can move from one place to another easily. All right, I've done that now. So what we want to focus on currently now is our line plots. And how do we go about with our line plots? We need to create, the first thing we need to do is that we need to come here and indicate, we need a data, right? We need a data. And to create this data, we need to create two lists. The first list will be X and the second one will be Y. And basically, it's more like we are creating two columns, column X, column Y. Like I said, arbitrary data. So I want every one of us to do this also. So create two lists also. Everybody, please create two lists, X list and Y list. You can just use 1 to 5 for your X list. For your Y list, let's use 10 to 40. It has to be 5 rows for each of them. So let's do that. Let's create a list. All right, so X equals to 1 to 5. Okay, sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me go start saying. So this is 1 to 5. While this, I will just use 10, 15, 30, 45, 50. I hope this is clear for everybody. If you are clear with this, please just speak that you are clear with this. We did this in our last class, right? In our previous class, creating of lists. All right, if you are okay with what we have done so far, can you just speak or thumbs up or whatever? Okay, I can see just one person doing that. Do you have another person?
Yeah, we are
All
fine.
right.
We are good to go.
Okay, and I believe you've also created your own list too. All right, so now how do we create a line chart? How do we create a line chart? So it's very straightforward. What we need to do is we've already import our Matplotlib pie plots, which is our sub module that we are using now. So you just call out the pie plots that you create, you've imported before, which is PLT. You now use the word dot plots. Don't forget, this is where we started from. We have the summary here. For a line chart, we are going to use pie plots, PLT dot plots. All right, so let's go back. PLT dot plots. Let us open our brackets. We are plotting column X against column Y. Let's close the brackets. Okay, so when you have this now, you could just go on directly and say PLT. Each time you this condition that you have here is basically saying that plot X and Y, plot X and Y. And once you have done that now, let's say dot plots dot show. This is what will show our charts for us. When you do this, you can launch. Can you see now? Hello, can you see? All right, before I proceed, I want everyone to just do that. We can see the code here now. I want everyone to do that for those of us that have this. That have opened our Colab already. Let's do that. So basically, we are just plotting Y on the Y-axis, YX on the X-axis here. All right, can I get a response? If you have done that, cool. For evidence, can screenshot and put it on our WhatsApp page. Can screenshot and put it there so we can always get that later. All right, so we don't waste time. I only got one response, and I have about 3 persons that shows that they were with their collab. Do you have any other person here that have done that? Only one person just signal. Do you have any other person?
Yes, I've done it. I'm trying to screenshot.
All right, just screenshot and put now. Let's go. Now, this is a chart, right? But there are more for us to do to this chart. You know, a chart should have label. Number one, a chart should have a title, and we need to put a title. So to do that, just pick plot dot title dot title, and you can see our collab already suggests what is there for us. Like, these are things we need. I could just accept it, right? I could accept what collab brings out to me, that okay, I will need all these things. Now we want a title for this. We can say X and Y plots data ARK class. Okay, this is what we want to name our title. And our X label, you call this X label. Now automatically when you say X label, this first letter that you have is what will show. Now there are situations whereby you could have another name for this X. If you exchange this thing, let's say we put Y here, we put X here. Sorry, don't forget caps log. Let's say we have that way, and let's see what happens. You can see that it has interchanged. So automatically, the first one that you have in this pie plot will always be your X-axis. Okay, for those of us that are familiar with graph, you know that your horizontal line is always your X-axis, while your vertical line is your Y-axis, just for us to get that right. So if we have done this now, we can say that, okay, X-axis, what this one means, we can call it amount. amount. Are you getting it now? Let's say also we come here also, we want our y-axis. We can plot dot y label is suggesting we should use the word deals. Okay, this, let's say we use deals here. Let us launch this. What do we have? Our y-axis is this, while our x-axis is amount, and we also have title for our charts. Are we good? Are we good? Please let's talk.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, thank
Yes, we're
you.
good.
All right, all right, all right. All right. Thanks for that. I hope this is clear now, and it's just straightforward. Anytime you want to plot your charts, always know this. Always know this. You could also add marker. Let's say you want to add a marker here. Let's say plots dot. Let's say we add marker. Yeah. Put O. Let's see what we get here. No. Equals O. Can we see what we have? I've done this before severally. Wow, it's not coming up. Pi plots, pi dot plots. Close open brackets, close brackets. Can we, I think this should give me what I want. So what is happening here? Oh, I wrote maker, not marker. It's still not showing what I expect. What? All right. So, okay, let me bring this up here. Let me bring this up here. Comma, paste here. Let us run it. Yep. So this is a marker like, okay, for each of the points, we need a marker like this. So this will give us that. This will give us that. We could also, from here also, we can also label, indicates the kind of line style that we want. Line styles that we want here equals to this. Let's use dash and quote that also and run. Sorry, there is an error somewhere. Marker line style. Okay, let's see this time. It's still not working. Will it be this capital letter that I have here? All right. So we have this as a line chart that we have before. Can we try something else like full dots? And let's see what we get. No. It's not recognized. All right. So basically, we can do a whole lot of manipulation on this as much as we can. And a whole lot of things we can do. You can research more on this. Yeah, we can change the color. Let's say color um equals to red. Let's launch. You can see the color change to red. You can see the color change to red here. So a whole lot of things we can do around this. So basically, when you have anything to do with your please don't post to me, post on the group. Let everybody see it. Post on our general group. Post on our general group. I think
Only
this is clear.
post. Mr. Sam,
Do we have anybody that have something to say?
only admin can post on the group.
Yeah, we have updated the access. We can all post there.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so now this is clear now. Do you have anybody that have issue with this line charts? So my thought is we are going to just use each of these charts, and I want you all to practice it by yourself. And maybe at the end of this session, we now pick a real life scenario data that we will analyze from the beginning to the end, and then we can call it a training. All right, so let's move on. That is the next chart we want to be looking at it now is, okay, let me do something. Let me just quickly do something here. Let me add a text up here. I will call this line charts. All right, so that is line charts. The next one we want to go to now is sorry, why is it posting up here? I want it down. Okay, so let's create another code now. Do I have a code below here? Delete cell. Okay, so it should show here. So the next thing we want to do is our pie charts. We all know pie charts now. And another thing we also need to do, I believe we all at, okay, someone have something to say. I can see someone answer up. Abdulaziz.
Yeah, good evening, sir. So my question is, why writing this program where we are inserting the marker and how we want the line chart to be? Do they need to follow that particular order? Because I can see that plot.show is always the last, but for the title, X and Y label, do they need to follow this pattern or they can be in any order?
Now, for the title, no, the title could come anywhere. It could come anywhere. You understand? It will still work. It could come anywhere. You can put your title below here. Every other thing can always come anywhere and it will work. There's no particular order. This show, ideally, obviously, this show you have here is giving you the output of everything that you have above here. So that is why, ideally, it should come last. Abdulaziz, do you get that?
Yeah, I get that now.
All right, so that is that for that. Okay, we are going to pie charts. What I was about to mention before was that I believe we are not a novice, and we should know the kind of data that can give you a particular output, right? If you and the kind of analysis you want to do will also determine the kind of chart you will do. Let's take, for instance, we have something like this. We've already imported our matplotlib.pyplot already. We've imported it so we can continue. Let's create a kind of list again. Now let's create another list. Let's say we have country. Let me just use small letters so to be safe. Country equals to, sorry, why is my equals to not coming up? Equals to, I just open a list. I have Nigeria. I have, sorry, I need a quote, NGN for Nigeria. I have another one here. I have USA. And basically, we have participants from all these places for this training, right? We have Canada. We have let's say Ghana. All right, I'm just going to stop there because of our time. We can't make it more better than this in your own case. So, students, our student from this now, let's say number, prefer small letter also, number of students. Sajid explained all this to us, so I believe we should not have problem with that. Yeah, okay. So number of students for Nigeria, let's say we have 80 students. USA, we have 8. Canada, we have 12. And from Ghana, we have 20. Okay. So, and what we want to do basically is a pie chart, right? So it's straightforward. What we'll do is we just come here. We come here to indicate, to import our PLT. Don't forget we have that dot pal. You can see here already that our what's it called? Our collab is already even suggesting what we want to do for us. So let's have here. Sorry, I need to put my code. Let's have here. Let's copy number of students. Country, year, and we need to set the color range that we want for our pie charts. But before then, let us just move on and run a pie show and see what we get. Dot show. Let's run it. All right, we are getting an error message somewhere. So anytime you run your Python and you run into a problem like this, it's not something strange. So all you need to do is to just relax, look at what must have caused it. All right, I think there are some stuff that we need to put here. Let's add a color. Color equals to, can we just, all right. I think it suggested some for me here. I was thinking we can run this thing without having them completely before. All right. So let's say we have grain. We need a simple code for that. Grain, yellow, pink. We have four countries, right? And let's say we have brown. Yeah. And let's come here also. Right, let's run this and see. We are still having a problem here. Okay. Country. Sorry. Just let me get all this. I will come back. All right. So basically, this is the syntax. Like we have our data hub here. And the next thing is let's have our pie, plot.py, open our brackets, the column that contains our values, which is, for example, in our case, number of students, we have it here. And we then indicate that what is our label that we are considering, which is our country here. So we said label equals to country. And in front here, we indicate the color that we want to have for each of them. Now, we can also come here to then also have something like pi plt dot title. Okay, dot title, open brackets, total students. Let's run that. I think we have that heading there now. Okay, do we have anybody who have attempted this also? Oh, okay, I think we had a lot of back and front on that while writing the code. So let me just give us chance to run the code there. I would give us 3 minutes. 7:45, I will call us again so we can continue. Let us test the code on ourselves. Let's test it by ourselves and see. Okay, I think one person just posted it now. We have 2 minutes more. Okay, I think I have some people that have done it already. All right. And beautiful. I can see somebody adding Octo PTC to it. The octo-PTC would help you put percentage on your chart, on your pie chart. So let me just do that for us here. Comma, octo PTC. Usually we usually have something like this. 1% dot 1 percentage. All right, so with this, you'll be able to have the percentage distribution of your chart. But however, this is not giving me what I want because it's not looking correct to me.
The one is before the percentage.
You said?
Yeah, that one is meant to be in front of the percentage.
Okay, in front of the percentage. It's like I'm multiplying it by 100 or so. All right, so we have it correct now. So this is quite interesting, and we can see that these are what we can do by ourselves. It's very, very straightforward, very, very straightforward, and is what we can do by ourselves. Now, the next thing we are going to, one we should be looking at, we'll be looking at next now is let's check another one called scatter plots. Scatter plots. See, the good thing about those trying this thing now is that there's no way you forget it easily. So that's why I always encourage that you try it yourself. Scatter plots. So for these are scatter plot, like I also mentioned earlier on, would just be using an arbitrary data, and I hope probably tomorrow so we'll be using a real data to really practicalize all this. Now, while using that real data, we are going to start from beginning. All those things that Paul taught us in terms of data cleaning, all those data manipulation, we are going to do everything step by step. And after that, we now come to analyze it. All right, so let's check scatter plot. To do this scatter plot now, since I don't have a data that we'll be using here, I'm going to just create an arbitrary data, and to do that, I will import a framework called NumPy. NumPy. Now, NumPy is basically used for different numerical manipulation. It's a framework used for different numerical manipulation. I hope probably not this training. I'm hoping to come up with a training, maybe I don't know when, because it takes time actually, but we'll plan it. What we'll be dealing with machine learning. It's at the time we'll be doing something like oversampling, undersampling, anything that has to do with numbering manipulation. NumPy is very useful for that. I was just going to I will import NumPy for that purpose now. Import NumPy. By now, we should just know the Python process as NP. We've just imported NumPy as NP. So let me run the code. So it is imported already now. So what we want to do is that we want to create a list equals to, and we are just going to use this NumPy to do that. NP dots. We want to create a random sample of lists of number. Random number for 50. Random 50 number. We just want to create a random 50 number for our X and for our Y. Also, we want to create, okay, it should be random. I wrote random. random. Yeah. All right. So let me import my numpile also random. We also want to create another random 50 number dot rand 50 number. So let's use this. All right. And we just see that now. It's, you can see this a random number, random 50 number, any number whatsoever. If you run this query again, this number will change to whatever it may want to be, whatsoever that we just want. So I am not really concerned about that now. This would be using it more when we are doing maybe a kind of machine learning something, but we are not into that currently. All right, so we are we want to plot a scatter plot. So we import plt dot scatter, open your brackets, indicate your x and y axis. No, I've told you the first one will always be your x and the second one will always be your y. And you know your y is your vertical axis while your x is your x axis. Comma, we have to indicate color. Let's say color, the color of our points equals to green or whatsoever we feel we want to. We can use red or blue. Let's use blue, comma, let's indicate the kind of marker that we want. We could use this O marker. Sorry. O marker. Now, one thing about non-pal is non-pal, immediately you click on it, probably you are typing all these things, it will just suggest things to you. And as you can see, it has suggested everything for us about this code. So the next thing is you can have a title for it, which is we can leave it as scatter plot. Here we have to indicate a name for our x-axis, which is what we have as x-axis. We can also indicate our name for our y-axis, and simply to do that is plt dot x label x-axis, which is the name we want to give it, dot y-axis, which is the name we want to give it, and the last, as usual, is our show, which is to display the charts. All right, so let's run it. Can we see now? We can change this our marker, like the one I wanted to do here that's not working. I think we can use X here. Let's run it and see. All right, so we can see now X here. So here also, instead of we having it as O, we can have it as X also, and we'll see this plot coming up with this. And some of you will be surprised that Kilo Shele, what is happening here now? Some of you realize that I did something up here. I just came here to run this code, X and Y. So in Python brain, is that X and Y that is up there that is still working? And that's why we're having this. So let's run our random data that we have here now and run this again. Let me admit this person. You can see that we have it in form of this scatter plots. Now, this is not, it's not looking like a real data that we can play with, so to say, but in real scenario, you can be coming up with this to look at correlation analysis. For example, if you want to look at probably, is there any correlation with population compared to COVID-19 during that period? You'll be seeing a kind of correlation, possibly a kind of positive correlation, which is what you'll be seeing. And the scatter plot will be able to do that. You know what the scatter plot is basically looking at is, let's say we have population here, we have number of people with COVID-19. We will then be picking them, and we'll be able to see if we have a kind of correlation or not there. Can we try this also? It's almost 8 o'clock, and it's our usual habit not to delay us because we all have gone to work and we need rest. Let's try this now and let's get the output. I will give us 4 minutes, 3 minutes. We should be able to do it within 3 minutes. It's quite easy. So let me have it on our page. Let me have it on our page. (5:57), I'm coming up back, and I'll be rounding up for today. Cool. We have somebody that have done it again. Cool. It's even good that you don't even use the same color that I use. It's good to try different things on this thing. All right, we have another person here that have done it. So basically I'll be stopping here for this night, and tomorrow we'll be looking at 3D plots, how to do some 3D plots, and possibly I'll also walk you through how to come up with a kind of contour map like this, a contour chart like this. I'll walk us through it. Let's see how far we can go with that. And if we have enough time, I'll be coming up with a real life scenario data where we are going to analyze from the beginning. We are going to import pandas. We are going to import the data in. We are going to check if we have any duplicate data. We're going to check there's what we call data mining. We're going to do a kind of data mining. We look at it to see the trend of the data itself. And we then go into full analysis of that data using Python. And if we don't finish tomorrow, next week Friday, I will not call us. We'll meet next week Saturday, then we'll round everything up. But if we can finish tomorrow, then we'll be good with it. All right, someone is just joining us and we're about rounding up. Okay, guys, it's a wonderful time this night. Let me open the floor for question. If you have question, please unmute yourself and ask anything you don't understand on what we have done so far.
Okay. So while we are trying to import should I call it libraries? Is it possible for us to just import all of them in one cell? Since
Yes.
we know I might
Yes.
use it. Okay.
If you since you know you'll be needing them, usually this place could just be for import of libraries that you'll be using. Even up to machine learning level, there are some libraries you'll be importing while doing your machine learning, like your TensorFlow, your science lane and all that you'll be importing. You could do all the importing here, but I bet you, except you are copying the code from somewhere, that's when you may eventually import all everything you need. There are times you now realize I still need this thing that you import at the beginning. But some people, even for clarity's sake, they will still go back to the top of the code. You understand? They will add that one that they want to import and rerun this place, and everything will work well eventually. So it's a good practice for you to import all libraries that you need. But however, you don't just import library. All these things occupies memory and space. No, we may not be encountering the extreme part of it now, because we are more like using just you can see this data is very small. You can imagine you running a data of about 3 million rows, 4 million rows. So that's where optimization comes in also. Any other person that have any question?
I have a question.
All right, already you are welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, sir. I
Yeah,
noticed that concerning the pie charts when we're applying the percentage,
yeah,
it's just, is it that that particular parameter is already known, or we are
yes, it's
to
already
know?
known for by Python.
Okay, because I
Yeah,
realized that we just wrote it out. It's not like as if we I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to ask. Since
yeah,
I don't know anything about it, so I just copied out what you wrote. That's what I'm trying to say. So I don't
yeah,
know if we're supposed to have an idea of it.
yeah. It's a Python syntax, and it goes along when you are trying to use your pie charts. And I think you can also use it for some other purpose too. I think you can also use it, but basically it's used mostly while when you are using your pie charts like this.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Any other person? Do we have any other person that have question? So let's hear from you. Let's hear from you. All right. So I think we can call it a night. And if you are with me to the end of the training, can you give a thumbs up or anything so we can end on that note? Abdulaziz, thank you. Korede, thank you. All right, guys. So please, it doesn't stop here. Practice, 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 practice. See you tomorrow. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Let me
Thank you,
just.
sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. Stop recording.